So it should be interesting.
Always is when these two tangle. It's the Rhinos and the Bulls. Sinfield's kickoff. Bounces perfectly, bounced backwards to Jamie Jones Buchanan. Bradford hung around and took a chance, and Leeds on it in a flash. Here is Cardi Lulawai, who'll drive it towards the posts.
Well, they got caught napping, not concentrating. Big opportunity now. They've got the pressure.
They have with Watkins. First try, Callum Watkins. Seconds on the clock, and Callum Watkins gets Leeds off to a flying start. And after this man's kickoff, chimed into the line perfectly and scored the opening try in 24 seconds. Sinfield to add the extras. It's the perfect Rhinos start.
Well, that's right, Eddie. Callum Watkins is probably the best running back. I want to give Jamie Jones Buchanan some credit here. Players in the middle of the field do a lot of work. Sometimes it goes unnoticed, but he worked hard enough to take advantage of the kick that bounced back to his side, and then his teammates had the skill, and this guy had the evasion to make sure that the first 4 points belonged to Leeds.
You can give credit to Callum Watkins for his finish on that, but it wouldn't have happened and it wouldn't have started without Kevin Sinfield's kickoff. I think if you talk to plenty of Super League players who are in the receiving position when Kevin Sinfield kicks the ball, they'll tell you it's a horrendous experience. It's hard to describe the flight of that ball and do it justice, so I won't try. Suffice to say, it was an incredibly difficult kick to try and take, and Kevin Sinfield has got his team on the front foot.
It certainly was a great kick, but I must say that they were caught napping. They really should have had someone in that big area who would allowed it to bounce. Normally the winger comes in, and I'm afraid Elliot Key was very slow to spot it. Take nothing away, though, from the second row, Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Well, they are full of it at the moment, the Leeds Rhinos. Ablett is wrestled to the ground over on that far side of the field. This is Peacock again, running it straight at Diskin, gets away from Manakufoa. And good work from Jarek Sammet to bring him down. Here's the last tackle for the Leeds Rhinos. This set of six, they're running it here. Joel Moon then puts boot to ball down the line. Bouncing awkwardly. Ryan Hall has it. Ryan Hall scored the try. This is a sensational start. He's going upstairs to video referee Ian Smith. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Unless Jamie Jones Buchanan, as you might have heard in the background there, was offside at the kick. Well, this is unbelievable.
Is it ever sensational here? You can see how the defence hesitates. Adrian Pertell gets into a position, but the kick from Moon is superb.
But Jamie Jones Buchanan is the next Leeds Rhino on the right. He is in front of the kick.
Yes, he is offside.
He's got to give him 10 metres.
I would say that will be ruled off, Steve, over no try.
He's pretty close to him. They didn't get to him in the end. Brett Kearney made a real meal of it as well. I don't think they're even going to bother to look for the grounding. Oh, they are. There's a miss by Brett Kearney. They're probably trying to see whether Kearney gets a touch to the ball. I don't think he does. There's not much in it in regards to the second row, Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Well, he's 5 metres.
I'd say he's within 10.
He's within 10 there, definitely.
And he was ahead of the kick.
Just.
But has he touched the ball?
I don't think he's touched it, Brett Kearney. No, he's miles off it. This will be wiped off, and boy, what a relief it'll be for the Bradford players and Francis Cummins. He finished it well. No one was hanging on. He thought he'd scored, and I think Ian Smith, the video referee, will turn this down.
Well, he looks bemused, but there's the man who was just in front of the kick. He was at least 5 metres inside the 10, and so it's chalked off.
You know, in games we've been here, we've been critical, Michael, some of us have, about Leeds running the ball on the last tackle. They've done it again here, the power play. They don't score from this, but it causes problems for the opponents early in a game when they decide to run, pass and not kick when the referee says it's the last tackle.
Yeah, they're very nervous at Bradford. We expected it. We knew that Leeds, of course, had a pretty good rest over the weekend. Their game was postponed.
Well, they look fresh as daisies, don't they?
Well, Bradford have allowed them to be that way, Eddie, because hesitation on 2 occasions that really could have cost them 12 points, not just the 6. Now the interesting, how will the Bulls handle this? Just keep the ball, they need possession, get a good kick away, that won't help.
It won't. It was a thunderous challenge on Danny Addy, and Leeds have got the ball back in the shape of Brett Delaney.
I think it was Ryan Bailey who put the opponents under pressure. You can attack when you don't even have the ball in this game. Leeds did that, and it's given the Rhinos possession now again to attack.
Well, it's all panic, Eddie, in this Bulls outfit.
It is. Leeds are pressing so much. Bradford haven't been out of their own half yet, I don't think. Look at that from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Great leg drive from him.
Well, Francis Cummings, the Bulls coach, would have been upset with the fact first time they did have possession, they tried a silly pass back on the inside. All it needed was good, hard, solid work and get the ball downfield.
That's better defence from Bradford, forcing Peacock back. Francis Cummings watching on anxiously here. As Sinfield will attack the line, he gives it to Bailey, who loses it forward, and then Brett Carney knocks on as well.
That was a great hit by Chev Walker. That was a belter. He saw the inside pass coming. And watch Walker, bang, come to daddy. Couldn't keep hold of it. Great work by Walker.
Yeah, there's little details in the game, and Kevin Sinfield's kickoff is one of the ones to look at. As I mentioned before, he practiced this, and the tilt of the ball means that when he kicks it, it will float through the air, making it very difficult for the catcher to judge exactly where it's going to land. On that occasion, after taking his time to kick the ball off, he's caused all sorts of difficulty for Bradford, and I'm sure we'll see that again.
Chev Walker forced back by Kevin Sinfield. This is Elliot Keir now.
A little bit high by Brett Delaney there. Look at him not being caught by the official.
More good Leeds defence coming in there. And Addy gets the kick away.
That's better. That's what they should have done earlier. And he knows it as well, does Danny Addy.
50th Bulls appearance for young Danny Addy tonight.
Gave himself a little bit more room as well. Couldn't really apply too much pressure upon him.
His reaction there, I wonder if he was going for a 40-20.
Well, it was on. He was just a few metres short, wasn't he? But they will be pleased, the visitors, that they at least have broached the Leeds half.
This is Ryan Hall, plays it to Burrow, who finds Maguire, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan on an angled run. Only as far as Diskin and Walker, two former Leeds players. Here is Luluwai.
Very quick play the ball by the Rhinos. Well, they're keeping him down there. Luluwai can't get up. He wants to get away with it.
Everything that Leeds are doing is being played at speed, and that's more good defence from Manukaufoa on Peacock.
You're absolutely right, Eddie. You can see it in their legs when they're moving. They're moving with a real spring in their step. We've seen them at times this year when they've had a lot of games, but now they seem fresh.
Goes high off the boot of Sinfield. This is all over the place. Keir's coming for it and pouches it cleanly this time.
Great take under pressure as well.
He's looking to offload there, and Leeds made sure he couldn't.
But it was no surprise, was it, that Kevin Sinfield was going to put one of those high bombs. Been in top form as the skipper, Sinfield, especially in the kicking department. Oh, that's great defence. That's solid.
They're eager, the champions. They really are. The opening 8 minutes of this match. Danny Addy again will take it forward only as far as Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He goes down on tackle number 4, looking for the runner that was Whitehead, and Leeds picked him out. This is the last one for the Bradford Bulls. Carney thumps the ball right down the middle of the field, and Leeds will have to work this away from their own line. First time they've come from this part of the field so far tonight.
That's a great chase as well. Fullback Kearney.
Good work though from Vickery, hangs on, attracts 3 defenders.
That's all you need is from a kicker, if you can dissect the fullback and the winger. But this is interesting.
It is, it's a run around there with Hall and Moon, and Moon flicks the ball in field. That's play on. That's play on and back to 0 in the tackle count. A Bradford hand got to that. They got away with it, Leeds.
They certainly did. It was panic time from Moon, but he's in top form also.
Just in front of Maguire, there's the touch.
Yep.
And giving Leeds the possession again. And here they are with Delaney. And on the bounce, it didn't quite make it out to that far side to Joe Vickery.
Wasn't the best pass, to be fair to him. It surprised me that they missed the man out. You could see there Ablett was running onto the football. He needed it. Just a bit of confusion there. Now then, steady away. Bradford, they've got to. The Bulls have done 46 tackles to Leeds' 26. It is some indication they've had to work hard as the visitors.
And that was a big hit by Lulawai on Chef Walker, and Walker groggily gets to his feet. You could hear that from up here. It's Whitehead. He's needing treatment on the run, is Walker. It's Carney. They're in the Leeds half of the field though, but that's the it's a clash of heads.
Yeah,
with Walker. And Sammett's kick over the top. That's a great kick. That's tremendous.
You see the backspin on that. That was wonderful stuff. This is where they've got to make the impact. Keep them down there.
There are times in a game, Wrigley, when you're under pressure. And the Bradford Bulls experienced that last week. The Dragons they played down in the south of France got onto a roll and just racked on point after point, try after try. Leeds started in a similar fashion, but Bradford have done well here now to stay in the game, stay in the contest. Conceding that penalty though, probably a costly mistake. After a tough 10 minutes, I thought they were getting into grips with the speed and flow of the game. But it's now made it difficult now, the way they've allowed Leeds to so easily get away from the try line.
Well, it's a frustrating thing, isn't it? You get them right down in the corner. The kick was brilliant. Then all of a sudden you lose concentration, not standing square at the mark. You give away 30, 40 metres. Can't afford to do that against a side of this quality.
Jamie Peacock yet to score for the Rhinos against the Bradford Bulls, by the way. Will this be his night? Lulawai takes it forward to the 30-metre mark. Burrow is in at dummy half. Here is Sinfield back on the inside to Peacock, drops it under pressure from Scruton and Diskin. Manakafoa picks it up. Here goes Carney over the top. He finds Patel, and Patel has got strength and he gets away from one. He can't get away from Burrow.
Good job the little fella was there as well. He's a crafty player, Patel. Great to see him back, isn't it?
Yes, one of the great stories of the season. One of the great stories of the Super League era, to be fair, for Adrian Patel. Real concern about him after the Magic weekend, and cleared to play in December, and here he is, and he's watching here as Danny Addy goes on a little run. Well, Bradford have found their feet suddenly. Here is Sammet, and Sammet with the pass finds Lulea then out to Jamie Foster, who comes back on the inside with a jinking run, and it's Walker again and Foster again. And that was touched by Burrow. It's
back to 6.
To 0 in the tackle count. Whitehead steps out of the challenge. He has Purtell with him. He goes through Watkins. He gets the ball away brilliantly. Fantastic Bradford try. A fantastic try from Adrian Purtell.
Jamie Foster take a bow in this one. Well, his hands were all over this try. I don't know how they scored this in the end. It started over on the left-hand side of the field, and Adrian Purtell has managed to dot it down on the right.
It's that second effort that you have to see from top players. And Jamie Foster, it looked as though there was nowhere to go, but look at this, flipped it through. The referee, Phil Bentham, has deemed that the little fella Rob Burrow got a touch on it. It was actually the ball didn't go to the man. But the build-up from Jared Sammet, and look at the run, diagonal now across. They're not getting themselves in a good position. You can see there that Joel Moon had gone out, so had Burrows. Couldn't get to him a second time either. But what about the final pass? This is wonderful stuff. What a great finish. What a return for this fella.
You don't see many games of rugby where there's a try involving 8 passes. The Bulls under Francis Cummins seem to have an attitude that they will take risks. They'll offload the ball, sometimes late in the tackle. They'll take a chance, and that chance has resulted in their first try.
The offload from Whitehead, out of the top drawer, and I tell you all the way through, it was a big cabinet, wasn't it? Because it was top drawer right away from Foster on the left-hand side. This has brought this game alive.
Well, they might have been dead and buried had the try that was chalked off by the video referee been allowed to stand, but Jamie Jones-Buchanan in front of the kicker, offside, threw them a lifeline. And Foster, who had Well, several touches in that try, kicks the goal, adds the extras, and we're all square at Headingley, 6 apiece.
Well, nothing on Eddie when he receives the ball on the left-hand side of the field. He's going to step inside, doesn't want to go near touch, but he wants to try and keep it alive as well. What does he do? Well, he fills himself full of running, gets it over to the right-hand side of the field. Whitehead skips out of a tackle, and his final ball to Purtell is nice, delicate. Purtell showing some good strength to take over two big men in Ryan Hall and Ryan Bailey to score a try. Valuable points for his team.
Well, have Bradford learned the lesson from the kickoff? Looks as though they have. Carney was underneath it. Here goes Manakapoa.
Yeah, they got the numbers there. And it's amazing what a try can do. As he knocked on, Peacock's claiming to the touch judge. It's been turned down. Leeds have got to be very careful. They're a little bit fired up for this. He did lose it. He did lose it. The touch judge missed that one.
Well, he lost it, but did it go backwards?
That is a feature of their play, though, Eddie, this year. They do have lots of players who late in the tackle, just when you think it's over and he's going to succumb, they'll pop the ball back out to a player, and it's been really effective for them.
Sambut is inside the 40. He's gone for a 40-20, and he's nearly got it.
Oh, it could be a try. No, it's gone in anyway.
It's a 40-20 anyway. Foster was after it. Watkins did so well and almost did himself damage.
Well, this is wonderful play by the standoff. Jared Sambut has seen that there's no one at home. He did well, didn't he, the fullback, to get to that one, but it's just given Bradford an extra 10 metres forward because it hits the line. Talking of lines, every time you come here to Headingley, I don't know how they get them so straight. It's unbelievable.
The professional ground.
How they ever? I mean, it's unbelievable.
I know that everything you touch is like a dog's hind leg, but it's perfect here. Perfect. Pitch is perfect. And the game has started fantastically in the opening quarter of an hour. Carney skips away from a couple.
And again, you see there, Jared Sambut, he's calling out the tune, come on.
Chev Walker.
They'll probably do another drive, and then watch out for number 6, Sambut. He'll be calling for it.
Dixon to Elliott. Oh, he bumped one out of the way. Diskin! Just short. Has he lost it? No, he hasn't. He's just short. Carney to Manakafoa. And the big man goes forward, but that's a great tackle low down by Lulawai. Here is Diskin again. That's Danny Addy. He finds Sambut, and Sambut finds the touchline with the pass.
Well, he was creative, wasn't he, in the build-up to the try for Patel out on that left-hand side. That's what he loves, to attack. He threw the dummy on the first occasion, got away with it, but not on that occasion. Boy, the tackle from Jamie Peacock earlier in the build-up to this, it looked as though Diskin had gone in. And Jamie Peacock, bang, came in, stopped him. Fantastic.
Well, if you concede a try after 24 seconds, and here's a penalty because Chev Walker's just a little bit exuberant on the floor in that tackle. But if you concede a try after 24 seconds, it's no wonder it takes you a wee while to catch your breath.
You're right, that well, Walker just threw a little short left there. Bit of blood flowing.
On the Stats Fact show during the week, we get Elliot Whitehead's name mentioned a few times by opposition players as being the most effective Bradford man on the field. You can see in the opening minutes, the opening 16 or so minutes of this game, why that might be. He's proved very strong, and the lesson to Bradford from that is get the ball to Elliot Whitehead on this right-hand edge and let him go at Joel Moon.
Stats Pack available via the red button. Boots and all first showing, normally Wednesday tea times.
Now then,
and of course it's available also online. What's the referee given here? Because Danny Maguire looks a bit perplexed because he's given head and feet to the Bulls.
Well, Jones Buchanan tried to offload it. Whitehead missed it. And then it's deemed that Maguire has finished up knocking on. That's okay.
But that isn't.
Well, didn't Whitehead knock it on first? It certainly came off Whitehead's finger, and then the ball hit Maguire. Either way, they won't be complaining about this. Bulls opening 10 minutes. Looked as though Leeds were going to run riot.
This is Manakafoa again. The man who played for Tonga in the World Cup 2008. Diskin at the play the ball to Danny Addy. Gets the good pass away. And that's Tom Alberson who will play it to Diskin again. Here is Walker.
Now then, they've got to try to just camp down here and make sure that when Leeds do get the ball, they don't give away silly penalties. Diskin's away.
Another brilliant offload to Walker. He finds Samet. Samet stabs the ball in behind them, looking for Foster. And did Vickery get a toe to that?
Yes. This should be head and feed to Bradford.
I bet Brian McDermott's starting to get concerned with the number of his players who are getting pushed off tackles, easy ones where their man's in front of them. They're not outnumbered. They're not really, there's no deception involved, but players just being pushed to ground.
I think the run you're referring to is Matt Diskin shoving Ryan Bailey, which is quite an effort. Former teammates, and he managed to sit Ryan Bailey backwards and set up his team, put some pressure on Joe Vickery. He's conceded a scrum. See what Bradford can do.
Here's Danny Addy, pops it up to Keith Lulia, 10 metres away from the Leeds line. Addy goes into dummy half, looks for the runner, which is Scruton. Good hit by Bailey. And Diskin is waiting again. Diskin looping past to Samet. He comes inside one. Very important tackle that by Jamie Peacock. Alberson will score! Easy for Bradford. What a fight back! What a fight back by the Bradford Bulls. Tom Alberson with the try. Ever present so far. One of 10 in this Bradford side to do that in 2010. He's coming on in leaps and bounds. That's his first try of the season.
And a good try as well. But the man that set it up is this fella, Jared Samet. Not only with ball in hand, but also with the kicking game. And they are furious at Leeds. They've just gone to sleep, and all of a sudden, the Bulls have woken up. Vickery had to kick it in. He was under pressure by Jamie Foster. This was simple, this was easy. Brian McDermott, the Rhinos coach, will be furious. No talking to each other on that line. They were completely lost, and this man took full advantage. It's game on.
It's more than that. It is a worry now for Brian McDermott. The worry beads have gone from one end of the coaching dugouts to the other, because after 24 seconds, Leeds were rampant. That might sound silly, but they were, and for 10 minutes they dominated. They could have had a second try. That was chalked off by the video referee. Bradford suddenly found their lungs, found their feet, and they're now kicking here for a 12-6 lead. And the comeback is complete. Leeds 6, Bradford 12.
And the Rhinos only have themselves to blame. They lost the ball a few times when they had possession early on in the game. Eddie, they had control, but they coughed it up. And now the defence on their own try line, so much below the standards they set. Imagine when they played the Melbourne Storm. There's no way they would have allowed the Storm that much time and space close to try line. They need to get back up to the level they were at in the World Club Challenge.
Well, the most amazing game. 20 minutes, and it's gone from one extreme to the other. Leeds were all over them for 10 minutes. The last 10, it's been all Bradford.
And it might have been, psychologically, Eddie, the worst thing that could have happened. They score within seconds. They should have had another, but it was turned down. And inside the brain box, all they're thinking is, oh, this is going to be easy, fellas. You can't afford to do that. I know they're the champions, and they've just given away a silly penalty.
Yes, not standing square, and a bit of a push at the play the ball as well. So Samet will dump it out about 40 metres further downfield.
Francis Cummins said coming into this game, Eddie, it was important because he wanted to see where his club were at and where his team were at. You mentioned the difficulties they had 12 months ago. 12 months on, Francis Cummins can be pretty satisfied that this far into the game, they're looking pretty good.
Well, any team that's missing over 10% of the tackles are going to be in trouble, have very little chance of winning, and Leeds need to massively improve the defence here, otherwise they're more Bull points.
Scruton plays it quickly to Diskin. Diskin gets it away to Danny Addy. There's a big hole there. That was an important tackle by Sinfield on Alberson. And here's a chance, it's another try. Has Danny Addy pinched one?
He'll go
Has Danny
upstairs.
Addy pinched one here?
It bounced. Did he get fingertip to it? He doesn't look all that convinced. He reaches out. Does he plant it down? Does he? No, he's lost it. He's lost it. I don't think there's any part of the thumb.
Is that a penalty, Mike, then in the field of play? Or are you deeming it he's just lost the ball?
No, he's lost the ball. There's no two ways about it.
Knocked out by Callum Watkins.
I think Callum Watkins might have hit his hand, perhaps, but I'm not sure about the ball.
I don't think he's hit the ball. I think he's gone for the ball carrying arm. This should be no try. Boy, and it's a big lead up as well for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, he will be delighted, Francis Cummins. He's made a wonderful start to his coaching career, as so many people predicted he might. He retired as a player at 29. He began his coaching ambition in 2005. Of course, he's following Coach of the Year Mick Potter into the hot seat at Bradford.
Well, I was just about to say, the last thing that Bradford need to do now is to give away a silly penalty. And the former Leeds player is the culprit.
You know, looking at this game, Steve, the Leeds have got more than 6 points in them. This game will, if it's going to be won by Bradford, it'll be won by what they do in defence, I believe. These Rhinos are going to have plenty of periods in this game, putting pressure on the Bradford line. Bradford need to defend like they've never defended before.
Well, they're defending here as Bailey tries to come forward. He gets to within 21 metres of the line. It's Burrow. Here is Maguire. Maguire is met by Addy, by Scruton, by Diskin. Not Diskin. Good offload in the tackle. That was by Sinfield to Burrow.
Pretty disciplined defence as well by the Bulls. No one came out of the line. They just say, come on, show us what you've got.
Peacock finds Maguire. Maguire then gives it to Jamie Jones. He gets the return. Joel Moon gets the pass away to Maguire. Still the fourth tackle. This Sinfield. Oh, hang on.
Obstruction. He's utilised his own player. It was only a glimmer, but it was sufficient for the man. There he is. Peacock was running in on the angle. Watch for Peacock coming through. That's sufficient, and when you go across the line of the player that's gone on that angle, it has to be a penalty.
Samet fires the ball into touch. It hits the commentary box roof. Here is Sidlow.
Well, it's very rare you find a team that can come to Headingley and keep the home crowd quiet.
Absolutely. But Bradford will know the 12-6 up now. They were 10-6 up at half-time in France. They were blown away in the second half. That ended a 3-match winning sequence. London are leading the Catalan Dragons. Talking of them, 12-6. That's at Esher, the game being played there tonight because the Twickenham Stoop is unplayable. So 12-6 there, 12-6 here. And Jamie Langley is out there.
Not a bad time to throw him as well. Langley, long striding second rower.
High hanging kick from Addy. Oh, Carney collected it, but just couldn't hang on.
Yeah, it's classified as a knock-on from the full-back. But the tactic was good, wasn't it? Plenty of height. Really should have been a penalty, I feel. I think he's taken out here.
Who's taken out, Mike?
Watkins.
Isn't Carney taken out? He's airborne, and Watkins makes the tackle. They're contesting the ball.
Should it be a penalty to Bradford for tackling the man in the air, catching the ball? No, not in the attacking situation, maybe there.
Well, I thought he lifted his knee.
Well, it doesn't matter now. No, it's Leeds in possession with Peacock.
What is good, though, and Bradford have done that, and Carney particularly this season, they contest the high kicks that they put up. A lot of sides just put the ball high in the air and hope for the best.
40-20 here from Sinfield. 40-20 from Sinfield. No! Carney gets to it. Look out! Carney picks up behind his own line because victory was hurtling down towards him.
Tremendous kick by the skipper, Kevin Sinfield.
What a start to Easter, and more to come here on Sky Sports over the next 5 days. What a fantastic start. It'll pick up again tomorrow at midday. Don't worry about that, Wigan Saints. That's on Sky Sports 1 HD as well, and it will continue all afternoon because we're up in the big city derby, Hull and Hull KR, 2:30, same place. And then Monday, we'll see the champions in France. But here come the Bradford Bulls with Purtell. Oh, lovely dummy. Tries to go inside Moon, and Moon does really well.
But great position with that run.
Langley now.
They're full of confidence now, the Bradford Bulls. They're playing the ball quickly.
Lestrange is out there, finds Samet. Samet gets it short to Alberson.
Went for the power play. Was that a mistake? Probably.
I think they missed the count.
Yeah, he didn't look too impressed, Francis Cummings.
When I watch Jared Samet run the ball, there are a few players that look so balanced. He rides tackles, he looks like he's just about to hit the ground, he springs back up again and continues with the ball. He's a real threat running the ball, kicking the ball and passing the ball for the Bradford Bulls.
And he scored 7 tries already this year. That's more than in 2012 for him personally. This meanwhile is Ablett. He went round Alderson pretty easily then. Good job that man Samet was there. It's a penalty.
Hung on too long and he knew it.
Mind you, Burrow might feel a bit hard done by here because he was away.
Well, I think the official waited until Burrow got captured by one of the Bradford players. Such a talent.
Has a number of different looks, doesn't he, Jarrett Samet, since he's been playing in Super League. This is the latest we're seeing tonight. He had the Jack Sparrow look when he first came over. I don't know how you describe him right now, but probably the Jarrett Samet look.
Noel Cleal, I would say. Oh, good opportunity. Couldn't get the ball away.
That's a fantastic run, that is, by Achurch. He's right underneath the Bradford posts. He's found Maguire. Little dummy drop of the shoulder from Maguire. Spins, gives it back to Achurch. Here is Kirk. Kirk gets it away to Sinfield. He hands it on. Back to Achurch. Achurch for the line. He'll get there.
He'll go upstairs with this one. There was a bobble. He's not sure either.
Well, Achurch hasn't scored yet for Leeds this season. Is this the moment?
I think it just hits the deck before, but it's how it projects afterwards.
Short and rolls.
Try.
I reckon that's in one movement. I'm with you, Phil. I can't see any deliberate movement.
No, it's a try, you're right. And he was involved earlier on the play as well, so he's continued and stayed alive, and he's got a try for himself.
Achurch, first try in the Rhinos colours. Timely. Timely, to say the least.
Is that the definition of a super sub? Go on and make an impact. Well, he clearly did that with his first run. Almost broke through the line. And then Maguire steps. He sees it coming on the left-hand side, brings it back to the centre. And the Leeds forwards keep the ball alive. Sinfield back to Achurch, puts himself between two defenders and goes hard and low for 4 points.
Yeah, never say die attitude. Good offload as well, wasn't it, by Danny Maguire? The big fella says, let me have another go. Should have been stopped.
And Sinfield adds a couple more points. There's another very important milestone beckoning for Kevin Sinfield tonight. That's 4 points he's scored. He needs 9 more, and he'll be 7th in Rugby League's all-time point-scoring chart. Not just Super League, all-time. Achurch, he's only been on for a couple of minutes. The blood's pumping out of his nose, and he's got a try. He's levelled the scores, it's 12 apiece.
And he'll remember that try for a long time, but I think the official may have to just call time off and get that sorted out. I don't think that little bit of a plug up the nose will stop that.
He's got blood all over the shirt as well, which is of more concern. Catalan battling back in Isha. London 12-10. Later score there, 12 all here. Great start to Easter. Great start.
Yeah, it's a great game. You get the feeling that this crowd have come here tonight expecting a good performance from both sides, and they've got it so far. You talk about dangerous periods in the game, Eddie, and we're heading into one 10 minutes before half-time, and it's dangerous, I believe, for the Bradford Bulls. Leeds Rhinos could use this opportunity in 10 minutes to kick on and post more points. Are Bradford willing to defend?
That's the 4th tackle this set of 6, and they're still inside their own half. Leeds. The kick early from Sinfield, angled. Elliot Keir had funneled back though, he saw it coming. And the Welsh international will bring it forward, and that's great harassing from Maguire and co. Well, although the Bradford fans are unhappy with the challenge.
Well, it looked a touch high, that's for sure, but it was good positioning by Elliot Keir.
Achurch clobbers Jamie Foster. Foster, who has had plenty of Wigan Saints derbies in his brief career, and this is his first taste of this one.
But you've got to give credit to both these sides. They're trying to keep it rough and tough. They're trying to keep the ball alive. Some of these tackles are rough. Boy, they're heavy.
Jamie Foster's also had a couple of tastes of the Hull derby, which we're going to see tomorrow as well when he was up there. Here is Addy. angled, and Vickery had positioned himself well, came hurtling back, realising that was coming towards him.
You get minutes in a match, don't you, where you just think things might have turned, and I think Brian Kearney sensed a shift in the momentum of this game. Now, Leeds' defensive effort to contain Bradford looked strong, and I think that maybe the emphasis here now, Bradford will need to use their attacking chances well, because Leeds will score some points, and the Bulls need to do so when they have the ball.
Yes, they've just upped the ante a bit of the champions. Whitehead gets to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, though, with Patel and Addy.
They needed to, Eddie. They realised they had to get the big fellas going forward, especially this fella.
Peacock's turning and looking to offload. They've trapped the ball, though, and they've trapped Peacock as well. That's the last one. Burrow finds Sinfield. Here comes, I was going to say, here comes the kick. It doesn't. It's a pass to Maguire. And off the knee. Oh, this could be danger.
Well, surely he was offside, was he? Did it ricochet off? Well, that would have been interesting. Sinfield was definitely in front of the kicker. He's claiming that it was.
I think there was a little touch in there, but I don't know who it came from.
Well, Maguire's kick is all over the place.
The flick there from Kearney.
Yeah, he did. He got to it. That's good refereeing by Phil Bentham.
Why he got it wrong? Well, I thought he got it wrong, Steve-O.
Does it matter?
No, not really.
Too true.
Not now, it doesn't.
They won't be complaining, that is for sure.
Here's Langley. Last tackle here for Bradford. Samet.
Outside.
Big hump downfield. Vickery's underneath it.
Well taken. Good position as well by Joe Vickery. Obviously, that Francis Cummings, the Bulls coach, feels that perhaps he might be a little bit jittery under the high kick. That's the fourth time that they've picked him out.
Mike, you might have come to the conclusion there's less pain involved in trying to tackle him than Ryan Hall when you kick the ball down the left-hand side of the field. So sometimes you obviously in life go for the easier option.
Of course, Phil. I mean, with the greatest respect to Joe Vickery, I can't put him in the same class as Ryan Hall. I agree with you.
Good run again from Ian Kirk. The big men trundling it forward. They're going for a really big and physical pack of forwards and off the bench. Just lately, Leeds Rhinos and Brian McDermott, but there's Stevie Ward on. He plays the ball to Burrow. He'll find Sinfield high off the boot of Sinfield. Oh, this is a towering kick. Hall's after it. Well done, Elliot Keir. Well done under all that pressure.
He has done well, Eddie. I thought he almost lost it into Ryan Hall's chest, but he's managed to pouch it in the end. Another good kick from Sinfield, but well done by the Bradford winger.
Let's get down to Bill.
Jamie Peacock has finally taken a breather in this frantic first half, and I tell you what, Eddie, even that was the subject of some negotiation between him and the Leeds sideline crew, because Peacock didn't look too enthusiastic coming off with only a few minutes of this first half left. Richard Moore has come on in his place. Peacock getting a well-earned breather.
It's a knock-on, is the decision, and there is Peacock. He's getting some air back into his lungs. Yeah, a good 30 minutes or so from Jamie.
He looked shattered.
Did he drop it?
He didn't drop it.
Did it touch the legs of the... Yes, it did. So that is a knock-on, isn't it? It goes into Burrow.
Look at him, he's completely out, isn't he? Not surprised he's been a Trojan.
Maguire with an angled run buried by Danny Addy. Watkins, centre field, Sinfield drifted forward slightly, maybe to Ward. Ward uses the strength to get away from Samet. Get away from the next man in. Here's Sinfield. This is Ablett. Alderson's on his back. Alderson stops it.
Good play by Alderson, read it extremely well, inside pass.
Sinfield to Maguire. Maguire looking for the runners, it's Watkins. Watkins gives it then to Joel Moon. Solid Bradford defence. Scrambling defence, sliding kick from Maguire. And that one runs down. 20-metre restart.
That was dangerous from Brett Kearney, but he did put his body in between the oncoming. And there's a quick tap on the 20, and this is a great run. Tremendous stuff by Elliot Keir.
Steve-O, he's been involved in two crucial plays in the last minute or so. He came off his wing to shut down the play when Leeds were attacking. came up with a body, Leeds unable to continue, and from a quick 20-metre restart, he's gone and brought his side up to near the halfway line. Great piece of play from Elliot Keir, the number 5 in the Bradford jersey.
This now is Heath Lestrange, and he gets the ball away to John Bateman.
Well, it's tense times for any coach. Brian McDermott knows it. It looked as though they were going to blow the Bulls away, but great run there by Lestrange.
On the last tackle, it gets to Danny Addy, and Addy stabs the ball towards the in-goal area, brilliantly swept up by Ryan Hall. Here comes the riposte.
Boy, what entertainment they've given us. Absolutely superb stuff.
Here goes Burrow now.
Interesting to see the fullback Brett Carney is very close. He hasn't dropped back deep at all. Surely he's not anticipating the little dribble through or one over the top.
Burrow to Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Will they go on the fourth, Eddie? Will they kick on the fourth?
Vickery. He only had Foster in front of him for a moment. Lulier and Samet came in and they pushed him back to the 40-metre mark. Sinfield is scheming at dummy half, goes to short side. Ablett. And Ablett goes down on halfway on the last. Vickery finds Sinfield, they close him down. They try to close Maguire down, but he still gets the kick away. Oh, and that bounces next to Lee, and big Richard Moore was after it. What a great run from Moore, but he was in an offside position. It was ahead of the kick. It was a fabulous effort.
Yes, he was, yeah, about a metre and a half. It's a shame, because he would have been giving himself a pat on the back. Terrific tackle.
It's been a great first half from the Bulls, and it's not over. There's a chance they may still score some points, but it's important, whatever they say and do at half-time, they maintain this level in the second 40, because last week in France, they were blown away. Their opponents won the second period, 24 points to 0. They have to be competitive after this hooter, as they were when they began the match.
Well, there were almost 21,000 at Odsal last Easter to see what was threatened as the last ever meeting with the Leeds Rhinos. The Bradford Bulls won. The club was later saved, and tonight they sit 6th in the table, a point in the place above the Rhinos, and there's a big crowd in here tonight, absolutely enjoying what is traditionally a start that we all savour to the Easter parade. Here goes Carney, gets the ball away, good hands again. Foster backs himself. He's got some pace, but Watkins clears up and grounds the ball in his own in goal. Goal line dropout.
Wonderful rugby league. Top quality, good kick and chase there. Foster put the pressure. Youngster Watkins fumbled with it, but did the right thing, put his body in between, made sure he got into the in-goal area. More pressure.
What do you think here, Mike? Is this the chance for the one-pointer?
Why not?
Well, when they catch you here from the kickoff, there's only one player probably left in this first half.
Jared Salmon's the man to watch out for, but it has been a great first half from the Bradford Bulls. They're up against the champions here, and they certainly have shown their coach Francis Cummins they mean to play tonight.
Well, they'll get one, play the ball in. Oh! Sensational there.
Church it was. And this is Sidlow.
It's got to be now.
Right, this is the time, and I'm just looking round. Carney's there. Samet's there. He's coming in behind the play now. They're running it, though, with Whitehead and Patel. And that will be it. That will do us. Well, a scintillating first half. Referee just waiting, as there's dozens of youngsters who are taking part in the half-time entertainment as they exit stage right before he blows the whistle to get us underway. They've had a great time, these youngsters. There's been a relay race that's been going on underneath the south stand. and all part of the fun for getting young people involved in this game.
And so enthusiastic, weren't they? Here we go!
Right, let's see. Well, it's high, it's long, it's deep, and underneath it is Callum Watkins. They don't let it bounce Leeds. Kirk with the first run of this second half.
And that should set the scene. The determination on the big fella Kirk there. Picked up a bit of a knock as well, didn't like the way that he was tackled.
And Richard Moore is harangued by three and dragged to the ground eventually. Langley's arm is trapped. And Adam Sidlow and Richard Moore and Jamie Langley just having a slight exchange of views, and Leeds in the end get the penalty.
Well, it's a problem with a lot of teams in Super League, is just a lack of concentration at the vital moment. You could see Addy just pull the ball away. Sometimes you can kid the man with a whistle, but not on that occasion. Having said that, I thought Phil Bentham handled that first 40 tremendously well.
Great tradition, these two clubs, of course, in the Super League era. Leeds and Bradford met in 4 major finals between 2000 and 2005. 3 cup semi-finals at the start of the Super League era as well. Here's another penalty for Leeds.
Well, they're claiming that, that Moore dropped it. No, there was fingers there. No doubt about it. Was the Sidlow was the culprit?
Yes, it was Adam Sidlow who got a hand to it. 18-10 London ahead against the Catalan Dragons in the unfamiliar surroundings of the Esher Rugby Club. Twickenham Stoop not fit. And here now is Sinfield. Back it comes to Watkins. Watkins gets away from Samet and he finds Carl Ablett. Ablett just turned his back, took the tackle from Purtell. It's with Sinfield again, who's running it, finds Maguire. He gets it to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Bradford muscle up in defence. Burrow wanted a quick play of the ball, has a quick scamper and then slips. Here comes the last for Leeds. Back underneath the Leeds post. They go left with Maguire. He'll dub it to the in-goal area. Hall was after it. Elliot Keir got a hand to it as well. It's a goal line dropout.
Good work again by Elliot Keir. They put him under a lot of pressure, Leeds, tonight.
I think they're going to check this again. I think it comes off Ryan Hall, and so does Elliot Keir, who in my opinion has been probably the best player on the field. The last person's hand, it was Ryan Hall, I felt.
Well, Keir gets to it first. Whether that is being deemed.
Well, they can have a couple of looks and they've decided it is a goal line dropout.
Yeah, Keir got the initial first, and I'm with you, Phil. I think maybe it did brush the fingertips of Brian Hall.
Oh, there's not much length on this. Watkins is underneath it. Here comes Ian Kirk again, straight at Heath Lestrange. Down he goes. Burrow waits. Sinfield pointing left, and that's the way he goes to Luluai. He went over the top of the prone body of Jamie Langley. Sidlow got to him eventually, pulled him down. Burrow and Maguire. Maguire then to Jamie Jones. Here is Moon. Joel Moon just stays in the field of play, loses the ball though. And celebrating the good defence was Elliot Keir.
Yeah, great defence. Didn't get sucked in, kept on that line.
Should be another penalty, shouldn't it? We've had a great first half and a really poor start to the second one.
That was good defence though by Addy.
You pull the ball out. It's exactly the same as the earlier one.
Yeah, it looked like there was a hand on it. Eddie, you referred earlier to the history that these two teams have in Super League, and especially early 2000s. But it was Bradford with a dominant side then. I referred earlier to Francis Cummins' wish going into this game that his side would show him where they are and where the club is. Well, what would this result do for the Bradford club? If they could come to Headingley, considering all the turmoil of the last 12, 24 months, come to Headingley and beat the champions. Steve-O, what a lift it would give that man Omar Khan, the owner, Francis Cummins, the coach, and indeed the whole Bradford city. Yeah,
it's all about confidence in any sport, especially in ours. That's good work there by Lestrange.
Here's Sidlow. They haven't made the playoffs. Two former Bradford greats there. Jimmy Lowes, I know he played for Leeds, obviously, and Brian McDermott. But they failed to make the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons, Bradford. It was that 6-point deduction for entering administration last year that cost them. But they haven't made it for 4. And And of course, Old Trafford was a little bit like Bradford territory, as it is for Leeds these days, prior to all of that.
Well, if Bradford keep to the basics, make sure the kick and chase is good, just a little bit of getting excited at times, give away silly penalties, holding down, trying to just make sure that their defence gets back into it. That composure is going to be the difference between the two sides tonight.
Great offload by Achurch. He finds Burrow, he gives it to Kirk, and Kirk up the middle will take the tackle. Yeah, I'm reminded it was 6 grand finals in 7 years for Bradford. How the balance of power switched in West Yorkshire. Here's Ablett, and Ablett pops it up to Vickery, who had to come in field because it was very tight to the touchline.
He did well to keep away from the whitewash on that occasion.
It's Maguire again.
This has got to be a good kick. Will it go high to the corner?
Well, here comes the last tackle. Let's see. Sinfield is there, kicker in chief. There he is. Crossfield kick, looking for Ryan Hall, finding Ryan Hall, who lost it. It's going to be the turnover.
Well, it wasn't the best finish to a good kick. I suppose in many ways Brian McDermott, the Leeds coach, would be quite happy. At least he didn't get his one line of defence set up. And the defences have been pretty strong. Amazingly, the Bulls have had 5 clean breaks, Rhinos only 2. So that gives you some indication how the Bradford side have muscled up in defence.
6 minutes, second half gone, as you were at half time. 12 apiece. Addy for Bradford. Lestrange is waiting. Big Adam Sidlow. He left Salford on a 2-year deal for the Bradford Bulls in December. Lestrange and Jamie Langley now trying to go past Ian Kirk. Jamie Peacock is prowling, waiting to come back on as Samet hammers this ball towards the touchline. Didn't quite get hold of it. Oh, but Vickery and Watkins would have left it for each other, and Vickery took control. It was a great chase.
John Wells, Eddie, at half-time made reference to the ruck and what Bradford needed to do. I think what he's referring to and what he's seen in the first half is that Bradford, or Leeds I should say, are coming back at the markers and at the A and B defenders, the first defenders either side of the ruck. They probably see, they have seen something in the video from previous weeks they think they can work on. Let's see if Bradford are switched on for that play.
Well, they have to be switched on now because Jamie Peacock's back.
And that's the reason why Brian McDermott's thrown him out there. He knows that he will attract quite a few defenders. That's a great kick by Burrow. What's the chase like? There's 4 there. It's pretty solid. Great work.
Yes, nowhere for Elliot Keir to go. Brett Carney's waiting.
You know, both sides had a 10-15 minute break at half-time, but it seems that Leeds are the one who've got all the energy. When they're kicking the ball, a lot of the Bulls walking back don't seem to have the energy, pace or urgency that the Rhinos have at present.
Lestrange is waiting again. Oh, there's a problem there for Scruton. And a nasty bang in that tackle. And Sidlow takes it forward on tackle number 4. Lestrange again. Over the top of Langley, finds Carney. It's the last tackle here for Bradford. Samet dabs the ball in behind the defence, and it just eventually finds touch.
He's been good in that department tonight, Jared Samet.
That's a great kick.
It is, and they needed it, because I get the impression that the Bulls are getting a little bit tired. We saw Nick Scruton just a few moments ago, and he really is struggling at the moment.
It's a great kick because where he's put it into touch, and because of the fact that he has put it into touch. I don't think that Bradford wanted that ball to stay in play. Phil's picked up on it, you picked up on it as well, Steve-O. I think the best result for the Bulls is this ball going into touch. Have a little breather at the scrum, set play coming at you now, and now switch on your defence.
Watkins goes down first tackle. Addy in there, and so too Langley. Here's a scampering run from Burrow. Langley's after him. Langley gets him. Let's go down to Bill.
There is a problem with Nick Scruton, and I think he's going to have to leave the field. We saw him just being treated a moment ago with what looked like a shoulder problem, and I actually think that this has been something he went into the game with, because I noticed in the warm-up he was having one or two problems and seemed to be in a bit of discomfort. That obviously hasn't cleared. He's taken another bang on whatever the problem area is, and he's going to have to leave the field, and I think Manikafoa is going to come on in his place. That looks to be what the Bulls are planning.
Oh, silly play yet again. Just getting a little bit overexcited. I mentioned the fact errors will play a big part in the remainder of this game. Elliot Keir. And you could see there that Danny Addy, that was as near to a flop as you'd get. Look at that, 20 vital metres forward the home side have got.
So this is a chance here for Leeds, with Luluai leading the way. Up the middle he goes.
I just get the impression that Kevin Sinfield has to start taking first receiver, like he's doing now, a little bit more than he's done throughout this game. Most of the time it's been going to Danny Maguire. It's now to change tactics.
He just popped that ball off to Peacock, who took the tackle. He finds Burrow. Burrow then gets it away to Luluai. And Luluai is grounded. What a time he has had, Kylie Luluai, in his time here at the Rhinos, by the way. Insisting this might be it will be his last season. Here's another. It's another penalty for Leeds, offside on the Bradford line. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan
Held up.
goes for broke, and he'll take it back 10 metres now.
Not a bad option, but they got underneath him.
Burrow finds Sinfield. Sinfield saw a gap. It was closed pretty quickly.
Watch for the fullback, Watkins.
They've gone to Peacock. What a moment this would be! What a moment that is for Jamie Peacock, if it's given the green light by video referee Ian Smith.
Well, I can't see anything wrong with it.
He's never scored for the Leeds Rhinos against the Bradford Bulls, his former club before. Is this the moment?
Sheer power, no doubt in my mind. And no doubt it should be in the video ref's mind. Ian Smith tonight. That is TRY time, and that is big time for this fella.
Yes, it is. Massive moment for Jamie Peacock. Jamie Peacock or Ellery Hanley, best player to wear both colours. It's a matter for debate.
Eddie, I complimented Elliot Whitehead in the first half, but I think he's guilty of just sitting back on his heels and waiting for a man of the size of Jamie Peacock to come at him. Well, you're never going to defend your line like that. You've got to move up and hit Jamie Peacock out as far as you can, not wait for him to come over the top of you, because his size and his momentum will always power over you. Jamie Peacock, the number 10 that occasion, has got a deserved 4.
He doesn't score a heap of them, but that is a very important try for Jamie Peacock. And his 205th appearance for the Rhinos.
That's how he used to run with the ball when he first started playing, I think, for Bradford. Maybe it was a joke to his old days when he used to tuck it under the arm and run as hard as he can. Well, he ran hard enough to get 4 points, and Kevin Sinfield's added 2 more.
And Sinfield obliges. It's 18-12 to the Rhinos.
And what a wonderful substitution yet again from Brian McDermott. He wanted this big fella out there, and he has produced the goods.
Well, Jamie Peacock, as I said, has played 205 games for Leeds, 207 for the Bradford Bulls, for whom Brian McDermott once packed down in the front row as well. And tonight, it is Jamie Peacock's 50th appearance in this match. What a moment to choose to score your first ever try against the Bradford Bulls. Let's go back down to Bill.
Thanks, Eddie. Finger on the pulse as usual. Nick Scruton is fine. He's staying out there. Manikafoa has gone back to sit down in the dugout.
Well done, Bill. There's a commentator's curse, isn't it?
Spoke about the 10 minutes before half-time, Eddie, and Bradford defended it very well and went into the game with into half-time with a tied score. Well, they're only 6 points down here now. It's not the end of the world. They've got to have the confidence of coming back here at the home of the champions. But it is a period that Leeds are capable of posting more and more points and putting this game beyond the Bradford Bulls.
Well, champion sides can score back-to-back tries. Leeds are clearly capable of that, and Bradford have to prevent it. I said that they looked a little tired. It's perhaps not surprising because the opening 12 minutes of this second half, the Rhinos had twice as much possession as Bradford. I think the penalty count was about 4-0 in favour of the Leeds side. So many sets of possession, used aggressively like Luluai here, has helped to take them ahead of their opponents.
Yeah, that penalty count has switched the balance towards the Rhinos, and just a slight delay. You probably saw Phil Bentham just receiving some running repairs to his microphone equipment.
It's amazing when the referees have that done to them, Eddie, how they always seem to just breathe in at the right moment, don't they?
Here comes Ian Kirk for Leeds.
Now you've got a 6-point lead. This is where the kicking game is important. And there he is, the master. It's right down the throat, though.
He did well. Foster moved in off the wing to collect that, gave it to Carney, and he had to take the tackle from Vickery and from Stevie Ward. Whoa, that was high.
Silly.
Oh, he felt that. He felt that, did Keith Lulia.
This is silly play. You've just taken the lead. You've just controlled things. And Luluai goes to Lulia with a swinging arm. Not the best option, and Brian McDermott will be furious about that.
Difficult for you in cold weather, that. Luluai and Lulia could have been all over the floor again, couldn't it?
Special substance that keeps them in, don't worry.
Here's Sidlow.
They've got to hand the ball over now, Eddie. Either score or hand over on their terms. They've got to get to the end of the set if they don't score.
Chip over the top,
Back
and it
to
was
6.
played at 0 down in the tackle count. It's wiped clear by Phil Bentham. Here is Scruton. Tipped to leave the field not long ago. Look where he is now, 2 or 3 metres in front of the post.
Salmon wants it. Oh,
Samet got it, and he got away from Sinfield first up. And here's a penalty now for Bradford.
It's getting tasty. Bateman's having a go at Ablett.
Well, he might only be, it's a flop, and he might only be 19, John Bateman. No backward step. Here's Adam Sidlow. Sidlow halted a metre short of the line. Real wrestle on the ground. Ablett is going to be penalised again, and the referee might have a word with him.
Well, if they keep doing this, the yellow card will come out.
Tap penalty. Langley. Straight up the middle, banged under the sticks again. Can Bradford respond to that try from Leeds? They're trying to. Short ball finds Bateman.
Great tackle by Sinfield. It was a delayed pass offload from Samet.
Pushing and shoving in the ruck by Maguire. Here is Carney. Got the ball away to Lestrange.
And can he get it away? No, he can't.
Harassing defence from Joel Moon. Lestrange again. It is now Langley.
Well, we haven't seen Brett Carney coming to the line quite a lot tonight. But they've gone the other way.
Slides the kick in. Perfectly read by Ryan Hall.
Brilliant. Not only the reason why they think he's one of the best in the world, not just for his try scoring, but his ability to read the opposition. That was brilliant from that guy.
Good defence from Ryan Hall. Good attack from the Bradford Bulls. Now you tell them no penalties. Do not march them down. Ryan Hall cleaning up at the back is what you'd expect from your winger. You now want Bradford to stay clean, keep the referee out of the whistle out of referee Phil Bentham's mouth, and put pressure on this kick from the Leeds Rhinos.
That was a great initial run, a great surge from Brett Delaney.
I agree, Eddie. You know, he arrived at this club as a centre. He's ended up becoming one of the best back rowers they've had in recent days, and you know, his effort in defence and his ball carrying aggression are certainly helping Leeds to be a contender again this year.
Good chase led by Vickery and Stevie Ward on Carney. Here goes Lulia again. Samet. Manakafoa. It's a really close game between London and the Dragons. Dragons next up for Leeds Rhinos on Thursday, of course. On Monday, of course. This is Thursday.
Yep.
We're going to France on Monday. Good Friday tomorrow. Easter Saturday the day after.
Tremendous. I've always put faith in you.
Here is Carney. Good tackling by Peacock, or was it? He wasn't held, so play on.
Can't get it. Yes, he can get it away, but it's picked up.
And worryingly for Leeds, Peacock is still on his backside. I think he was hurt in that challenge. Just getting to his feet now. This is Ryan Hall again.
I'm not surprised at all this, the pace of it. I think he's just exhausted. Ooh, nearly lost it there. But he does now put some power into it. Not just that fella, but Kyle Lulawai. He's done some good, solid, hard work tonight.
Burrow is just scheming, looking left, right and up the middle, gives it to Sinfield, who pumps the ball towards the corner. That's a tremendous kick.
Yep, he didn't wait to the last, went on the ball. That's what you need. I mentioned earlier, the important thing now, when Leeds took that 6-point lead, the kicking game would be vital. He can control the game from here on in.
Well, he had a good look. He saw where Elliot Keir, the right winger for Bradford, was. He was up in the line, making an attempt to come backwards. Kevin Sinfield looked one way, shaped and kicked towards Elliot Keir's wing, and put the ball, really couldn't put it in a much of a better place. Brian McDermott will be delighted with that. Leeds Rhinos now, great opportunity to try and force a mistake from the Bradford Bulls.
Yeah, the two coaches there, Francis Cummins in his first year, he had 2 years as the assistant to Mick Potter at Bradford, and Brian McDermott 2 years here, back-to-back Wembley and Old Traffords, and just a couple of World Club challenges thrown in for good measure.
Well, we're approaching the final quarter, and for the last few years, the Rhinos have been the best team in Super League at winning, scoring more and conceding less than other teams in this last 20-minute period. Bradford have to reverse that trend here if they're going to want to win.
Well, they're trying to do that now with the pace of Foster. Oh, wasn't the best pass, but it came up okay for Carney. But a momentum lost there by Bradford. Foster in a dummy half. Here is Samet. A dab over the top from Samet. He's after it himself. Sinfield gets to it. Risky business. Risky business.
He was coming forward, passing the Zingall area, took that huge gamble. That was gambling of the highest order. Great defence, though. It's getting tasty yet again. Joe Vickery got a little bit of a facial then. Here comes a big fella.
I don't think it was forward anyway, but you can pass the ball forward in your own in goal. You could penalised, of course, for passing it forward intentionally, but this is Bradford's ball here. You can't be offside in your own in goal. Here is Whitehead. This is Manakufoa. It's bubbling along nicely. It has from minute 1 when Leeds scored the try after just 24 seconds. Oh, Whitehead's trying to get rid of it. He hangs on somehow.
That was dangerous.
Here's Diskin. Langley. Peacock was the man around his ankles and just held on and was dragged forward. Diskin. Scruton. Scruton's escaped the net. Still going, Nick Scruton. We've had one wonderful moment for Jamie Peacock. Are we going to get one from Scruton? Are we going to get one from Diskin? Great defence.
Tremendous. Just battled them on the last tackle.
That's not a problem for Bradford. Stay positive, 18 minutes to go. You're in the right part of the field, and after a tough 15 minutes from the half-time hooter, you're now competing on level terms and have got your opponents a little bit nervous.
6 draws so far, another one on the way in London, 24 apiece. Later score there. Here comes Hamlet, away from 1, away from 2, almost away from 3. Nicked it by John Bateman. Brilliant play from the teenager.
Boy, he came up with it, didn't he? Patel had just been pulled away from it, and they've got the penalty. Boy, both sides are out on their feet. What a steal by John Bateman. Could that be the key factor? Could it turn this game back on its heels?
Do you feel they need to score now? With this pressure that they have down near the Leeds line, this would be a great time and a great opportunity for Bradford to give themselves a reward for this pressure.
Great run from Manakufoa. Diskin is waiting 10 metres away. There is Walker, he missed out one, it managed to find its way to Addy on the bounce. Here is Lulia. Lulia cutting inside, Leeds scrambling to get him down, and they do. Diskin is out there again, of course. Addy, one-handed, so how did he get that? Here is Carney. Great defence from Sinfield.
It wasn't the best pass from Matt Diskin. And that's the reason why Francis Cummings has put Diskin to put the kick in. It's awkward. Can they get him in? He's going to get out, is he?
No. Vickery is bundled over.
Oh, a little bit
bundled
dangerous.
over the line. Samet on Vickery.
Did well, didn't he, Vickery, to get back?
Nearly got out.
Yeah, tried his damnedest. But there were just too many that got to him.
He's all right. There's a little walkway behind those advertising hoardings. He's looking confident, isn't he, Francis Cummings?
It certainly is, and that's, as I said, that's the reason why.
To knock on from Sinfield, short. 12 goal line dropout.
A great 10-minute period here now. They've attempted to get it short, but with all the possession, the breaks they're making, the meters, you know, you're expecting here Bradford now to score. He's taken a gamble to try and change the momentum of the match, win possession back for his team, but it hasn't quite come off.
Well, I don't think he touched that.
It's terribly difficult for the referee to judge though. Look where the hands are, look where the ball is.
He didn't get anywhere near it with his hands. That should be just play off.
The referee has to make an instant call though.
I know.
Well, you've got the call now if you're Bradford. The call went in your favour. Can you turn this pressure into points? Can you put a smile on the fans' faces? Eddie, I think they're going to have to come away with something soon.
Well, Samet's on this short blind side. Will they come this way? No, they've gone the other.
To Carney, joint leading try scorer in Super League at the moment. Brett Carney, Diskin now. Here is Walker.
Straight into
What
that
a hit by Luluai.
Well, if they get anywhere close, he didn't know where he is, Walker.
Addy gives it to Samet. Jinks away from one. Gives it to Lulia. Can't get away from Maguire. Wonderful defence from Ablett. You notice, by the way, that Catalan have hit the front in London. They could go top of the table with that win tonight. Here is Manakafoa.
Chev Walker's in trouble, Eddie. They're trying to get him off the field. He's making his way back into the line, but I'm not sure he can do much.
Danny Addy, back it comes to Carney. Great defence from Leeds here, and Walker is in a load of bother. This is Diskin. Diskin slides the kick in. Ryan Hall is there again. Can they get Ryan Hall down? Yes, they do. He went to ground before he was shoved over the goal line.
He bobbled it as well, did Ryan Hall. But again, he's come out and saved you. That's the second occasion in the last 10 minutes that he's done that. Elliot Keir has to be careful. Here comes the Trojan. And they push him back. How on earth are these athletes going into each other like this?
Well, that's exactly what they are. They're athletes, they're brave, they're strong, they're powerful. And somewhere they surge the energy. And here goes Bailey. And that's the last.
The trouble is, Eddie, it'll be an error because they're so fatigued.
Great kick from Sinfield. Foster funneled back and catches it on the full.
Francis Cummings has got to be proud of his side. He's got to be proud of what they're doing now. They're answering the question that he asked of them this week. This is a great performance of them. We saw some good defence. We're seeing some great attack.
Well, you've got to also say, Brian, that Brian McDermott, he must be very happy with the way that Leeds have defended over the last 10 minutes at least. Incredible the pressure that the Bulls are applying.
Bailey went to hunting for Scruton and missed him. We've had some classic encounters between these two sides down the years in Super League, and we're watching another epic unfold in front of us tonight. And Danny Addy just jinks his way through. Couldn't get the ball away though to Manakafoa.
He's had a big game, hasn't he, Danny Addy?
Manakafoa, the big man.
Look at the size of him.
He's like a bowling ball. He called held, they didn't hear it, so they play the ball. Don't start.
I've said nothing.
Here is Samet. High, it's hanging. Well claimed. Very well claimed.
Well,
Joe Vickery.
Yeah, they've applied all that pressure for the kick. nil all night to Joe Vickery, but he can give himself a big pat on the back because he has diffused everything thrown at him.
And so can Brian McDermott, because he had a shaky night against Huddersfield here, and he's kept the faith as Brian McDermott in Joe Vickery, and he's responded. Down to Bill.
It's been a bruising encounter, and Chev Walker has picked up a blow. Well, we saw him clash of heads earlier on. I think it's still the after effects of that has forced him back to the dugout, looking very groggy indeed.
Maguire with the kick this time.
It's a good one as well. It's got the backspin. Will it go? No, it won't.
Foster a little slip in goal. Here he comes. Ooh, got the ball away to Lilia.
Well, Eddie, they're going to have to do something special to score. We've seen them spend 5-10 minutes on their opponent's line and couldn't crash over. We will need some creative genius from a Carney or a Samet type player to unlock what Leeds have done here defensively tonight.
I was just trying to make the point that we're going into the final 10 minutes, and when you think about it, is that Leeds have to feel a little bit fresher. They did not play last week. That could just tip them over and make sure that they win tonight.
Yes, and Bradford spent about 6 hours either side of the channel in airport lounges as well. Good run from Sidlow.
This game's had everything.
Last tackle this. They're running at Bradford. Just a little fumble then from Elliot Whitehead. Oh, he got the ball away to Carney. He couldn't take it in.
He was on his way as a fullback as well. Elliot Whitehead produces a little bit of magic. It was there. It was just a touch too high for the fullback. But that could be the chance that they have just frittered.
Champions to me who look more tired. They're relying on people like Ryan Hall to come up with some superhuman carries. Spent 10 metres on that drive. Peacock again will invariably run hard in the middle of the field, but Bradford look like the team with the energy.
Leeds have got to try out of nowhere in them, Phil. We've seen it enough times to know that.
Silly play. Oh, come on, fellas. Why on earth do they do that? I think I saw Bailey coming late. There's a few more join.
Well, there's a bit of a schmozzle to be sorted out here. It was dangerous, there's no doubt about that.
It went high over the horizontal, and it was silly. And then all this rushing and pushing and...
Well, there are high levels of testosterone out there.
Yeah.
So far, I've got these pits in.
It's a penalty, isn't it, I think, for a dangerous tackle.
Oh,
Do we all agree with that?
Yeah, of course we will. But it just irritates me that everybody just starts going into it.
Perhaps they should put the incident on report and let somebody else look at that, because so much went on.
Yeah. Anything else? Great stuff, no problem. We've got it. Elliot!
He wants a word with Elliot Keir.
Yeah.
And I don't think the touch judges saw much.
What I've noticed is to let him go. So he's staying on the field, it's just going to take walking.
He's staying on the field because he let him go.
Just Cal, where's Cal? Delaney, I need Kev. Obviously we've seen the tackle, but you running in just cause other people to run in, so don't run in any further, alright? Everything blows up, don't want you running in.
It was just close, that's all. I don't think it ran in running.
I think it was
close. We got two runners.
Well, there's a dispute now about whether he ran in or whether he was close, and he was close.
Yeah.
And he had a bit of a go at
Well, he pushed
young Whitehead.
Yeah, Delaney pushed him, and then they all came running in.
I don't mind how he's refereed that, Steve. I think he's got a bit of common sense on that. Leeds Rhinos penalty, deserved so, and now he's taken off the field.
Yes, and let's not forget, even though the incident isn't on report, it can be viewed. Oh, Bailey! Someone's just gone flat on his back.
Well, someone tried to get to Bailey. I don't know who it is. Is it? Well, he's come off second best. He has come in. Absolutely lost the plot as far as I was concerned.
It's Nick Scruton, isn't it?
Is it Nick Scruton who's...
I'm confident it is Nick Scruton.
Yeah, it is. And he went for a high shot. There's little doubt in my mind. Swinging arm.
You've got to admire, I know it's an incident in which Scruton's going to be injured and have a bad head for a while, but it is a head clash. It's a head clash, and I tell you what, Bradford's fighting this game. They've conceded a penalty. They want to turn the game. They've got to force the ball free. Scruton's attempting to do that.
And he's using the arm, so it's no shoulder charge that. The arms are out to try and make the tackle.
You know,
he's on here with Ryan Bailey. What we've got though is we've got players running in at every incident. Okay, going to leave it up to you guys. You're the leaders of your teams. You've got to take control of them. Go and speak to them. Let's get some control back. Kev, you might want to start with him. Ryan. Okay. Did you not hear the whistle? I stopped play. Just stay calm. Okay. It's tackle one here. Tackle one there.
Well, it certainly looked to the arms, but over the top of the shoulder. There was obviously intention there.
Well, Ryan Bailey is like nails on a blackboard, isn't he? He irritates people and they try and get revenge, but fair play to him. He stood up with the ball and continued on. And he's a difficult opponent to play against, there's no doubt about that.
This is a big call from the referee now. Is it a penalty to Bradford? Peacock pushes at Bateman at the play of the ball, objects to what's happened in the collision.
And whilst all that was going on, the field goal went over. Just completely lost the putt. I mean, that was nothing, and then he went looking for him.
He didn't like the attention, did he? And then Sinfield slots the one-pointer.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is chalked off.
And still on the cards for a draw, isn't it?
Whoops, Manukau forward. Oh, they're all getting stuck in now. Danny Maguire went charging in.
This is where that thing inside your chest starts to come to the fore. Who wants to take it up?
Simlow does.
Yeah. He's got to be careful as Phil Bentham. This is bubbling.
Sammer takes control, almost. Great tackle by Ian Kirk then. Here's Diskin, gets the short ball away. Taniadi. He's almost been like an additional forward here tonight.
He's had a brilliant game.
Bateman.
To be fair, every single player that's been out in the park tonight, they've contributed to a magnificent game of rugby league.
This is hanging from the boot of Samet, and it's almost clear.
Nearly got to it.
Oh, he's wiped the tackle count down. It's back to 0. And now Bradford have lost it, but they'll get the ball back, won't they?
They should do.
Back off Leeds. Bradford have knocked on.
Oh, Bradford have knocked on. Backward off Leeds.
Well, it was going all over the place, wasn't it?
And he said this is not a knock-on by Ryan Hall. Goes backwards, and it came off the fingertips of Keir.
Yeah. That should be A-OK.
Yeah, and then they knock off Bradford.
He just lost it, haven't they? Yeah.
Manukau forward.
Yeah, he's got that right. You know, Eddie, if they come away with no points on the competition table after this game, the Bradford Bulls, you'd say they're back, wouldn't you, as a club? They seem to have stabilised themselves financially, and this performance, well, it'll make the Bradford Bulls fans think they've got something to build on in the future. To come to Leeds and put in a showing like this, and they deserve credit, because they're playing against the champion team.
That was a great offload by Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Again, Bradford have to be careful. Don't lose your marbles.
Here's Callum Watkins.
Keep that composure. He's got the... That's good work.
Tremendous run from Watkins.
Another drive, then they may go for the one. It's a long way out.
Delaney goes down on the last. They're 35 metres out. Sinfield's in position centre field. He's having another dig. He's having another dig at a one-pointer. Just wide.
Just to the left. The idea was good. Smart thinking by the skipper.
So close from 30. So close. And I tell you what, we're rightly praising all the players tonight. I honestly think Phil Bentham needs a huge pat on the back.
Yep.
I think he's controlled this game magnificently, the referee.
He has, he's let it go, Eddie. There's been a flow.
Well, it's a one-point attempt. just came wide.
That was the first one, yeah, and it was a big decision that from Phil Benton,
That he
which
got-
he took
that he got
bravely.
right.
Yeah, there's a bit of afters on the deck, and there's a push-up on the off the ground as well.
He got it right. You know, even the experienced Peacock just lost the plot for a while.
I think Phil Benton deserves a bottle of champagne as man of the match, Steve-O.
Oh, that was a
It's a
swinging
penalty.
arm.
Here's the chance.
There we go.
To get a game. Come on.
It's game on now.
It is Bailey. He wanted to square up, and it could not only be a square up, he could square up the game. They'll kick this deep into the corner.
And there are times in some Super League games when it's too easy to score a try. That hasn't been the case tonight. It's taken something special, and it will be something magical here now for the Bradford supporters if one of their team can get across the try line with the ball in his hands.
They've battered and battered away at the Leeds defence in this second half without reward, but is this their moment? Bateman gets it away to Samet. Oh, it's high from Maguire, was it? No, the referee
Across the
says play
shoulder.
on.
Right across the shoulder. He came out of the line to Maguire.
And Bateman again will trundle it towards that Leeds line.
You talk about man of the match, bowls of champagne, Eddie. All these players deserve one. I can't afford it. And as for the fact of giving a bottle to Phil Benton, the referee, I've got one at home. Trouble is, it's got vinegar in it.
Catalan top of the table. Here the champions are battling it out with League, the Bradford Bulls. And Carney just couldn't get that pass away. Here's the last tackle coming up for Bradford. Down to the in-goal area, missed by Peacock. Oh, it ricochets everywhere. And it's going to be a goal line dropout. But he's played in many of these in the past, Francis Cummins. There's not been many better than this.
You're right there, and what a great game Danny Addy's having. This has been tension.
What a start to the weekend. There might be a twist in this game yet. They were all watching Jared Samet, thinking he was going to take the ball in the last play. Those Bradford fans, well, they'll be cheering their team back. Leeds, nervous time now.
You know, the Rhinos have defended over 20 players on their own try line. That's an amazing effort.
Here comes Elliot Keir. Well, 3 minutes to go. Steve-O's vinegar bottle full of champagne, or champagne bottle full of vinegar. Who's it going to, I wonder? 3 minutes remaining.
Wait, fellas, wait.
And here is Lestrange. Now, Samet! Samet! Go close! Lestrange!
It was Sinfield that saved the day.
Oh!
I can't believe it.
Penalty to Bradford for offside! And it's a professional foul.
10 minutes in bin.
Jamie Peacock's in the bin.
Has he stopped the clock?
No, he hasn't. Jamie Peacock's in the bin.
Well,
And they're
Peacock's
waiting for
walking
him to get off the field, and there's some vital seconds gone. Here's Sidlow. Now, Lestrange gets it away to Danny Addy. Desperate defence from the 12 men of the Leeds Rhinos now. This is Manakafoa. Manakafoa trundles it forward again. Sensational Leeds defence. Can they hang on for the last 90 seconds? It is with Sidlow. No, they can't. Adam Sidlow for the Bulls. We're on for another draw.
Tremendous.
And look at the Bradford fans in the background. This time last year their club was dead and buried. Tonight they have risen.
And fully deserved.
And Jamie Peacock can only watch and wonder.
Not only wonder, Eddie, he's given them the penalty away, and Sidlow has put him through. And this is the Peacock situation there, and it looks as though that was it. It was all over, but there you see Phil Benton saying they've got the penalty. Short little run, and he's in. They can't believe it. The pressure is so intense. Cummins can't believe it. The new owners can't believe it. It's all down to this kick. The pressure on Jamie Foster is unbelievable.
Yes, it is, and all those supporters behind the posts, they'll do their best. They'll breathe in and they'll suck the ball over the top of the bar if they can.
You can only say thank you, Eddie, to all the players and the coaching staff for providing entertainment like this.
18-16, and the kick from Jamie Foster to come. And what about Adam Sidlow? He left Salford in December. He got a try in his debut in the first round at Wakefield. He scored a massive 4 points here, and Foster will add the 2. And Bradford will get the draw. The 7th draw of Super League 18, courtesy of Sidlow's try and the boot of Jamie Foster.
Well, everyone deserves an Easter treat, and I think we've had ours here tonight. Fantastic game of rugby league. It was aggressive, it was competitive, and there was the skill in the tries, and that's the end to it. 18-all, the Bradford Bulls should be proud. Great effort from them. Is he going to the referee to shake his hand? A nice way to end a sporting contest.